Did you know that your IOLTA bank account is subject to randomly selected audits, and that deficiencies discovered in an IOLTA audit can lead to disciplinary action that will then become public record for all your peers to see? A recent study listed on the legal resource website Lexology discussed the top 10 reasons lawyers are sanctioned for ethical violations. The study, conducted by attorney Kevin McGough, a leader in law firm ethics and malpractice issues, lists trust account violations as the number 2 most commonly sanctioned area for law firms. Sanctions for mishandling of IOLTA funds, even unintentional mishandling, can result in suspension of your law license, probation, and even disbarment. In this video, I am going to review the rules issued by the American Bar Association that detail what records lawyers are required to maintain to stay compliant, what reports you will need to pass an IOLTA audit, and at the end, I will walk you through, step by step, 3 specific things to check to see for yourself if your books are being maintained correctly and are audit ready. Ethics for this area are governed by Rule 1.15 of the Model Rules of Professional Conduct. Rule 1.15 specifically requires a lawyer to preserve complete records with respect to a law firm's trust accounts. A violation of Rule 1.15 may subject a lawyer to professional discipline. This rule was expanded to include the Model Rule on Financial Record Keeping to give further guidance and standards in regards to what exactly constitutes complete records. Per this rule, a lawyer shall maintain the following current financial records and maintain them for a period of 5 years. Receipt and disbursement journals that identify date, source, and description of each item deposited, as well as the date, payee, and purpose of each disbursement. Ledger records for all trust accounts showing, for each individual trust client, the source, amount, and name of ownership of all deposited funds, as well as the payee, descriptions, and amounts of all charges or withdrawals. Copies of retainer and compensation agreements, copies of bills for legal fees and expenses rendered to clients, copies of disbursement records on behalf of clients, checkbook registers, check stubs, bank statements, records of deposit and canceled checks, copies of monthly trial balances and reconciliations of trust accounts, and copies of client files pertaining to financial transactions on behalf of the client. Under the Model Rule for Random Audit of Lawyer Trust Accounts, it was determined that law firms would be randomly selected and a court-ordered subpoena would be issued to compel production of these records. The lead time for this audit? 10 days. To be in compliance, you need to show a 3-way reconciliation between the IOLTA bank account, the IOLTA liability on your balance sheet, and the total of the individual client trust account balances for each client. These 3 balances must tie in total every month. In addition to these totals, you need to also have the following detail attached as backup: the IOLTA bank statement, the IOLTA bank reconciliation, individual client ledger detail showing deposits and withdrawals, copies of all trust checks deposited into your IOLTA account, and a detailed credit card merchant report showing individual charges and daily deposit totals. If you were notified today that you needed to produce these records in 10 days, would you be ready for the auditors with 3-way IOLTA tie-outs and all the substantiating backup for any month the auditor may randomly select? We often meet with clients who believe their books and records were being maintained according to these standards, and that their books were tied out, but who are then ultimately shocked when we inform them that that is, unfortunately, not the case. The McGough study cited several cases in which lawyers were sanctioned for not accurately maintaining their trust accounts and records. In the matter of Munson, the court noted that the respondent did not keep accurate and contemporaneous records of his attorney trust account, and that his internal records did not reconcile with the bank statements and trust. They noted that even though there were no allegations of missing funds, the fact remained that he had not established a means of accurately maintaining his attorney trust account. The result of this oversight? The court suspended the respondent from practicing law for 6 months and placed him on 2 years of probation for his misconduct. So, are your records ready for an audit? Let's find out. Number 1. Does your IOLTA bank balance tie to the IOLTA liability on your balance sheet? To check, run a balance sheet from your accounting software. Under Assets, you should see your IOLTA Trust bank account. Now skim down under Liabilities and look for your IOLTA Liability account. These two accounts should match exactly. If these accounts do not match, you have a problem. If your IOLTA bank account balance is less than your IOLTA Liability account, then you have a serious problem, as that indicates you do not have all the funds you currently owe to clients being held in your trust account. If these accounts do match, then you are 2/3 of the way there to your three-way tie-out. Number 2, does the total of all the individual client trust funds you hold for your clients match the totals of the IOLTA bank balance and IOLTA Liability account from number 1? We have seen clients in the past whose trust balances tie out in total, but who did not have the appropriate client detail to meet the IOLTA requirement. If you use Clio, this would be under Reports as the Trust Listing report. Uncheck the top 2 boxes. Under Date Range options, scroll all the way to the bottom to choose Custom. In the From box, choose a date that is far enough in the past that all of your transactions since your beginning of using Clio will be picked up. In the To box, choose the same date as the balance sheet date you used for Step 1. Choose Web to have it displayed to your computer screen. Scroll to the bottom and check the closing balance. Does this match the IOLTA bank and liability accounts on your balance sheet? If the total ties, congratulations, you have the three-way tie-out the auditors will be looking for. Now let's check if the client totals in QuickBooks match the Clio Trust Listing balances. Go back to your balance sheet and click into the IOLTA Trust balance. Scroll to the top of the page and change the Group By option to Client. Click to rerun the report. This will create a transaction report. This will show you all the activity for each client for that month, as well as the ending ledger balance for each client. You can now cross-reference this to the Trust Listing report you pulled in Clio. These balances should match exactly. If they do not, your records are not being properly maintained in either QuickBooks, Clio, or both. On the report you just ran, look for any unspecified transactions, usually found at the bottom of the report. Any balance or transactions in this account would mean that there is money in the trust account, but it has not been assigned to a client. One of the requirements is that you must track the trust money per client. These funds would need to be researched and corrected to assign them to the appropriate trust client. Now look for any negative ending balances. Negative balances are a serious problem, as it indicates you have overdrawn a client's trust account and now need to pay back firm funds to replace the client's funds. This could be an indication of misappropriation, which is considered to be grounds for disbarment. It is important to note that Clio will not show negative amounts on the Trust Listing report, so maintaining these records accurately in QuickBooks and completing these tie-outs monthly may be the only way you will catch an overdraw on a client's account. If all the reports we just reviewed tie out individually and in total, then you have 4 of the 8 items needed to complete a 3-way IOLTA reconciliation for the month in question. Review the complete list earlier in the video for the other 4 items of backup you will need. If, on the other hand, your books and records are not tying out as they should, then it's time to have an accountant who is experienced in IOLTA trust accounting to review your books. We have helped law firms just like you clean up their client trust records and get back into compliance with IOLTA rules and regulations. Once your records are clean and up to date, we can provide you with a monthly 3-way IOLTA reconciliation along with all the corresponding backup required so that you can pass an audit at any time. You won't need 10 days to get ready because you will be ready before you even get the notice you've been selected. Click the link below and schedule a free consultation today. We will take a detailed look at your books and give you a complete assessment of where you are and explain what steps need to be taken to get you where you need to be. We can even do a video screen share with you where we will review your accounts one-on-one and answer any questions you have in real time. The review and consultation are absolutely free and at no obligation. What have you got to lose? Centricity Accounting. We focus on your books so you can focus on your business.